Good evening, guys. Tony back again, Horror and Todge. Hope you're all well on this Friday evening. So 23rd of October means we're on to day 23 of the 31 Days of Horror. Still going strong. And today I watched Lucio Fulci's 1987 supernatural horror movie, Aenigma. So this is a first time watch for me, and Fulci is my favourite director. As if you watch my channel, you'll all know I love stuff like Zombie, Don't Torture a Duckling, all stuff like that. But this one, I haven't got around to watching all his films yet. I'm soon going to be, digging into all of the ones that I haven't seen. But this is one of them, so I thought I watched this one today, and it's one of his lesser known films, I suppose. And I'll tell you a bit about it now, guys, and give you a short review on it. So, Aenigma stars Lauren Azinski, Gerard Martin, and Milan Zorovic. And essentially, it's about a girls' boarding school, and there's a girl there called Cafe, and all the girls in her dorm set up a practical joke. She's a bit, ugly looking and gaunt and stuff, and they set her up with this muscle-bound hot guy, as they call him. And they get her all the makeup on in a nice dress and stuff, send her out in a car with this guy, and then someone sets up like a walkie-talkie in there, and they start kissing and stuff, and all of them can hear what Kathy's saying to him. It's just like a practical joke, really. And they're all sort of in these cars around this wooded area where they are. There's 3 carloads of them, and then Kathy hears it. The guy starts laughing, and she just runs out of the car, and all of them are chasing her down. There's 3 carloads of them, just chasing her down. All these bitchy girls out of her dorm, and just shouting things at her. And unfortunately, she gets hit by this car and put into a coma. So it cuts to her in a coma, and she's got all these very 80s wires coming out of her head, and a big nasty cut down her face. She looks really creepy, and she's flatlining all the time, but the machine's keeping her alive, sort of thing. So cuts back to the school, and there's a new girl comes into the school called Eva, who is gorgeous, by the way. She is hot. And she sort of comes into school, comes into the dorm where Kathy used to stay with these other girls, and sort of takes her bed. But then what happens is, basically, from Kathy's comatized state that she's in, she starts to possess Eva's body, and takes revenge on these guys who have got her, who have put her in this state. So she just starts to murder them, basically. And it's nothing spectacular, not one of Fulci's best, but I really enjoyed it. I love that Italian, them Italian movies with English overdubbing. I just love that. I just love the feel of it. I love the 80s feel. I like the setting in the boarding school. There's all these girls running around. Some inventive kills in this. There was one where this girl got covered in snails, big snails and slugs, and her whole body when she was in bed was just covered, and then there was going in her mouth and stuff, and it suffocated her. And then when the police come, that everything disappears. So there's a supernatural feel about it, because if someone's being strangled in it, it will the police will say, oh, he's had a heart attack, or she's had a heart attack. They don't really know what's happening. So it's a supernatural feel about it. The girl who's possessed getting these red eyes, and then what's going to happen. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And then Cafe, who's in the coma, has a mum who works at the school as well, who's a bit deaf and dumb. They call her a retard, sort of, but she's deaf and dumb. She can't speak very well. And she's a cleaner there. So she's seeing what's going on all the time, and she's got a bit of envy against these girls, obviously, because her daughter's still in a coma. But yeah, really silly, but that's what happens in these 80s films. We know that. And that's what I love about them. But yeah, not going to go into too much detail. It basically just pans out like a bit like a slasher, you know, picking people off. And then at the end, there's a bit of a twist, as there always is. But yeah, it's like a supernatural slasher. And then there's like a few more side stories, like a doctor who's looking after Cafe starts to have an affair with a couple of these students, and I don't know how that happens. That's really silly. I don't know. It just sort of happens. They just appear in his room and start kissing him. I don't really know. But yeah, that bit's a bit silly. But you know, I can forgive these sort of 80s films, especially with Fulci. He's brilliant. I love the way he sort of goes about it and the gore and stuff. Not the goriest one from Fulci, because it's only this one's only a 15 from 88 films, so it's not the goriest, but there's some great scenes there. Say some inventive kills with the snails. That's a really inventive kill, and a few other bits and bobs. But all in all, I really enjoyed it. So, like I say, I don't put them. I'm not going to put it too high, as I always say, because some brilliant films I haven't put too high. So another probably 6.5 out of 10. But really enjoyed it. Haven't got too much bad to say about it. Just obviously the storyline's a bit silly, but I really liked it. That Italian, you know, overdubbing acting. I really like that sort of thing. And the girls running around and, you know, supernatural feel was good. But I really enjoyed it, guys. So, love Fulci. Enigma's one to check out if you haven't checked it out. So, yeah, that's been day 23, guys. Tell me if you've seen this down below and what you think of it. I've been Tony, guys. I'll catch you all for day 24